All right, we're on chapter 5, and we're nearing the end of the book, The Treasure Principle. And as we have walked through this, most of what we've talked about so far has to do with how we think about possessions and money and our treasures on earth. And in chapter 5, we switch gears a little bit and start thinking about how do we act on the thoughts that we have. It's funny because it actually is the chapter where we talk about putting our money where our mouth is. We've been thinking about how to handle money, but there comes a point in time where we have to actually start living based on what we think is the truth. If we really see the truth in the fact that there's more to life than having money and possessions, then we should start behaving in a way that reflects that true thought pattern. This is where it gets tough, because Randy challenges us to start living our giving in real time. And what that means is we need to understand, how does giving play a role in my life as a Christian? Now, I know that there's all kinds of debates in different churches about, what percentage of money do I have to give to be, blessed? Or does it matter if I give more or less? Or is it 10%? Is it tithe? Is it a command? I don't want you to worry about that. Here's what I want you to think about. I want you to just think about it in terms of basic principles. The first thing you need to do is you need to search your heart. Really think in your heart, am I too attached to money and possessions, and can I ask God to help me become less attached to those things? That's the first step. Search your heart and ask God to help you with that. The second step is, based on your feelings in that area, if you are too tied to money and possessions, consider what you can do to untie yourself. And one of the best ways to untie yourself from a love of money is to give it away. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but when you experience the joy of giving and the joy of blessing others and the joy of generosity, it bubbles up in your heart in such a way that it causes you to feel less of a sense or a desire to cling to it as tightly as you can. So search your heart, ask God to help you, but then make a plan. And the plan would just be, what am I going to do to start living into my belief and my trust that God wants me to be generous as a believer? Maybe that is giving in some way to a church ministry. Maybe it's giving to a friend, or maybe it's just helping people and just having your mind change to see things for what they are. You look and actually take a perspective of, how can I be supporting other people, other ministries, other businesses even? How can I be giving my money in such a way that it helps to build up other people around me? But especially, how can I use the blessings that God has given me to support His kingdom and its spread on earth? Look for ways to invest in gospel ministry. And this is why giving to the church is generally a good idea, because we want to be putting our resources together to try to spread the gospel, to expand God's kingdom, to do good ministry work in our community. That's why we always appreciate the loving, consistent generosity of you, our church members, because you help us to be able to steward the blessings that we have in an awesome way. And we get to see the benefit of that all around us in our community and beyond. But there's more than one way to do that. So search your heart, ask God to help you, make a plan, and then, of course, the last thing is you just gotta step out in faith. And I mean, what I mean by that is, at some point you just gotta let the rubber hit the road. You just gotta try. If you're not used to giving in any way, shape, or form, then I would say it this way: doing something is better than doing nothing. And just slowly, work your way into a pattern where you expect to be generous towards others. Just watch what happens. You'll start to see things open up, and you'll start to see opportunities to generously give to other people around you. There's plenty of places to give to. There's plenty of people who need support and need help. We just need God to help us open our eyes, untangle our knots of desire for money and possessions, and let us see the things that are out there right in front of us that we can actually step into and be a part of to help. So I hope this part is not too convicting, but I also at the same time hope that you take it seriously and really consider how you can step into some action on participating with what Randy has been teaching us.